Oh yeah,
All
and
right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see you up in the side chat. And Alan, get started off right, brother.
Absolutely. We'll let the notification bleep and go ahead with this thing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent,
Man.
excellent. How you doing, sir?
Maybe maybe if we start 10 minutes late every time, we can let people get into the room like they popped in. That's good to see everybody out there so far, according to the YouTube participants list. Chris from the 740, Duffer 426, Edward Petty, Honey Creek Road. We got Tim S out there. Edward, I think I did say Edward Petty, but I could be wrong. I have been wrong once before. The other time I was mistaken. The Gunpowder Beauty, Bama Dad was out there. The Tactical Fud, Razor JB popping in, Kyle. Yep. Everybody jumping in. Good to see everybody jumping in this evening.
Absolutely. Jamie, how you doing, brother?
Well, better than I deserve. And Honey Creek Road, I was not worried. But thank you for calling anyway. We appreciate it. Thank all y'all for joining us this evening. And, man, let's have some fun. It's Sunday night. We got to go back to work tomorrow. Bummer. So, yeah, let's have fun.
Absolutely. Rob, what's happening, man?
Not too much. Sore from work and didn't even really get a weekend. So, yeah, it's how it goes sometimes. But back to work tomorrow. So, yeah, hopefully this will be a good one. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely, man. Oh, we got Pat in the bunker. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just I actually got off work just a little bit ago, working some cattle and stuff. So about in the same boat as Rob, kind of working through the weekend, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done. So it's just one of those things. But no, I'm doing pretty good. A little wore out, a little sore, but that's all right. And there's a lot worse things in the world, so I can't complain too much. So anyway, thanks for having me on, brother. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Chuck.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm just sitting out here lounging, watching the kids play in the yard.
Nice. Good times. You got some decent weather up there then.
Yeah, it's about 48 degrees. It's not that cold. It's not windy, so not bad. Shorts weather.
There you go. That's what we call a regular day back home.
48? You said shorts? Oh, no.
48, that's shorts and flip-flop weather up there.
Yeah, in a tank top.
Yeah, man.
Man, I'd have thermals on and like 2 layers.
Hey, at 49 degrees, you get to take the tank top off.
I was going to say, it's almost sunbathing weather.
Yeah. Now, people don't believe this, but until they come up here and experience, when it gets warmer back in March and April, when it starts to get warm and it's like 45, 50 degrees, it's also our driest time of the year usually, and the sun will just be bearing down on you, and you won't believe it, but even though the temperature, the physical heat isn't there, you actually get more radiation per square meter from the sun, and so you get outside and you feel way different than you're dressed for. It's crazy.
Yeah, Rob and his salads and stuff, he ain't got no excess body weight. He sweats it off every day doing that labor. And he ain't got no insulation to keep him warm.
He only eats damn salads, so he's not putting any meat in his body.
Hey, I had 2 burgers and a salad.
Wow.
There's some beef there too, you know.
That's impressive. Now, was it burgers like the burgers from like White Castle, the tiny little things?
No, homemade. Probably, I don't know, close to half-pound burgers, big, like
There you go.
3/4 of an inch thick, maybe borderline a little bigger, and at least like 6 inches round when it's finished. So on the bun, there's like an inch rim at least of burger all the way around. The good buns, not the cheap store buns.
There you go.
So the very first post of the evening came from Bama Dad, and I think he was talking to me because we have yet to see the Scotsman in a kilt. I'm not sure if I honestly want to see this without sunglasses or a welding mask.
Well, I thought that was for people that donated $100 or more.
Well, let me go make some coffee and I'll answer that question.
Scotsman should be showing himself in a kilt for free. It ain't worth that much.
Well, and if you ain't wearing something to protect your eyes, you might go blind. I mean,
Hey, some people are into that. It's a crazy world.
That's every
I do
girl's
have a-
legs up here, man. Oh, in the wintertime, man. Every girl's legs up here in the wintertime.
I was going to say, I do have a one of those fancy welding helmets that has the auto darkening on how quick it'll go and everything. And if I remember right, there was a Scotsman setting on there.
that anything like the number 11 on Spinal Tap's amplifier.
Yeah, I think that's where it was at, Alan. I think that said it right in the manual. Manuel.
All right, so I got the coffee pot going. Anyway, so the one time that I was in Iowa with the fellas and was gonna wear a kilt, I didn't have one with me at the time, and CB tried to loan me one, but he's a little on the thinner side than me, so it wouldn't fit. It was way too tight. So that's one of the reasons why you haven't seen me in a kilt. CB is not very wide.
Well, what kind of kiltsman are you if you don't travel with a kilt?
I didn't
Razor
think about
JB
it.
said to check out his OnlyFriends account.
No.
Yeah.
What is this OnlyFans shit coming from? I mean, yeah, we could all use extra money, but damn.
Never been on OnlyFans and don't intend to ever crawl onto that site whatsoever.
I plan on selling pictures of my feet there.
The sad
That's
part
reason
is,
number 2.
the sad part is, I'm gonna probably buy them.
Yeah, that's real, man. I used
I
to
got
work with a dude that had like a foot fetish. Like if a girl walked by with sandals on, you look at him, he'd be staring at her feet. Like he got all excited about feet. It was the weirdest thing. Weirdest
Well,
thing.
if Alaskan Ballistics did an OnlyFans for feet, the user handle would have to be bunions and boils. I just saying.
Going to the site and make it right now. AllenbePro. Heath, Janice Gay, whatever your name is.
Oh boy, we're getting deep into it already, ain't we?
It's time to start talking about guns.
Hard not to do it.
This is the first time I've heard of this site, so I lead a sheltered life, obviously.
Y'all trying to hurt Jamie's sheltered ears.
No, you're just too good of a Christian, Jamie.
I wish.
I wish to.
And we need to be praying for you wearing that Tennessee hat.
Oh yeah, you know.
That's great. That's classic.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
Did Tennessee win last night?
No, we decided that not playing our game and not running the football was a good idea, and just trying to have our young guy throw it against a defense that was sacking him. Yeah, we were trying to play field position with a 14-13 lead, and it kind of backfired on us. Our defense didn't play well in the last half. It was awful. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like Bama and Vandy. That surprised the crap out of me. But I was watching that game. I was rooting for Bama too, because I don't want Vandy to ever be good. We need a whipping boy, you know. So now Vandy's good enough. Played so well yesterday they could beat anybody in the nation. Like that's how well Vandy played yesterday. A lot of people think Alabama had an off day, and maybe they did. But Vandy played extremely good. They were well coached and well disciplined. Ran their office, kept getting those 3 and 4 and 5 yard runs out of the option and zone reads and all the crap they do, and then they just played really, really well. So, but yeah, that's a long answer to yes, we lost and we played like crap.
I get it, man. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. And dang, man, that leaves only Texas in the Southeast Conference undefeated.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Who did Georgia play anybody yesterday?
No, we played Auburn.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Y'all didn't play anybody yesterday.
No, we played Auburn.
You do know that. You do know Auburn is a acronym, right?
Let's hear it.
Alabama usually beats us rednecks.
I've seen some classic Iron Bowls over the years, and that game is notorious. When you hear about the Georgia Auburn game and they say that that's the Deep South's oldest rivalry, you got to quantify that statement by realizing that for 50 years they didn't let Alabama and Auburn play football against each other because people were dying. I mean, they were actually people getting put in the hospital and ICU and dying because of that football game. And that's how much hate is in that state for the other program. And it's Honey Creek Road. Has Ohio State played anybody worth watching yet? I think Chris from the 740 would be a better person to ask about that because I think he's still out there. But I think they played somebody yesterday. I'll look it up for you.
Jamie, you mispronounced Chokio State.
Okay.
Yeah, it's spelled CHOKIOH. In Chokio State. Guess that joke was a bomb. Sorry.
Who won between Michigan and Washington? Do we know that?
Washington won. Yeah, it was upset Saturday
Ooh.
yesterday. Michigan, Tennessee, Alabama all went down. Plus there was a few other upsets too. I think can't remember who it was. Somebody beat South Carolina. Ole Miss beat South Carolina. I didn't expect that in South Carolina. And yeah.
So you guys that are Ohio State fans, y'all got to be loving the fact that Michigan has 2 losses this year already. So there you go. You got Oregon next week.
I just have to say it's really weird not having a Pac-10, Pac-12 conference. That's just weird. Having like all those schools that were out west in the same conference as the Big 12 or Big 10, whatever they want to call it. So it's just weird. It's not right.
I'll tell you what's weird. California is a member of the Atlantic Coast Conference. What is right about that?
Nothing.
Right.
Well, there's nothing right in California.
Yeah, it's all left.
Yeah.
And should be left behind. Oh, sorry. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's called the Caliban, by the way. It's just the Caliban.
You know, part of me is like, well, it's liable to fall off in the ocean at any time. But then again, we're getting bombarded by hurricanes. We got another one on the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, isn't that supposed to go like straight down the center of Florida? I mean, just rip right through the center of it.
That's what they're forecasting. It's going to dissect the peninsula.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So
y'all
I've
need
got
to do some recruiting. That's one thing I don't miss about Georgia is the hurricanes. But I will say this. There was a youth hunt that was a week earlier than the regular opening season on public land in Big Laser Creek Wildlife Management Area near Thomaston, Georgia. And I got my first deer on that youth hunt when I was 13 or something like that. But we saw more deer that day than we had ever seen on early hunts like that. And the difference was Hurricane Opal had come through and just ripped all the it ripped some siding off of our woodshed and some roofing off of our woodshed in our backyard, and every one of those trails had a tree down and everything, just leaves are on the ground. And it was only October 14th because the Hurricane Opal came through and just tore it up, and had been raining for 5 days straight. And when we got there, it was bright sunshiny and 60 degrees the whole time. And the deer were out moving because they did not want. They were tired of being penned up. So it's good. It's good hunting after a hurricane if you get a chance.
So I can imagine. I hadn't seen a deer in about 3 or 4 weeks, and now all of a sudden I'm starting to see them moving more.
Yeah, it's still hot down there though.
It is. It was, I think, 87 today. And it's October the 6th, and it's already, and it has been archery deer season in Georgia for over 3 weeks now. So,
yeah, it's usually mid-September, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my ex-wife had land in Meriwether County. Great hunting land.
Yeah, it's been that way here too. Our bow season opens up a little bit into September, and most of the guys that I know that bow hunt, it's just I ain't going out. It's too stinking hot. Because what was it? Today was pretty decent. It only got up to 78, but yesterday it was 94. So
So funny thing is, it's hunting season's over here as far as moose and caribou is concerned. I could get a winter tag, here or there, but like I could still hunt bear as well. I might do that this evening as soon as I get this tire fixed on my 4-wheeler.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many this year in the backyard. Usually I see at least a doe or two. But I haven't seen too many in the backyard this year. The neighbor was asking me if I shot them out here, and I'm like, no, not really. There's not really anything back there. So if something happens and somehow I miss, and yeah, that could go all bad. Yeah, no. Not doing that. Besides, the ones I've seen out here are real small anyway. You go across the road up there just a little bit at the end of the road, there's some big, you'll see some big bucks over there, but
We're having a little trouble here in Scotsman.
no, I don't know.
So I got a question that I want to throw out there. I just recently got a new pair of optical illusions that sit on front of my face. And one of the things that I got was the anti-glare coating and stuff. But not only am I not really happy with these things, but due to my regular stigmatism, my dots never truly look like dots. That's why I don't. Anyway, even with anti-glare, anything else, I'm finding it even more difficult with these glasses compared to my old ones. Is there a particular recipe for guys that wear glasses and also use pistol dots? Does anybody have any insight on this?
A little bit on that. I've had lenses and stuff with the anti-glare or the anti-scratch, all the coating and everything, whole ball of wax on it. Well, like these are my industrial pair that I wear on a regular basis just because they wrap around. So it's a lot better with the dirt and everything, all the environment that I'm in. And I have astigmatism too. So it sucks. For me, anyway, the company that I go through Shopko Optical on all my stuff. And I can't tell a difference between like the non-coated, the anti-scratch, the anti-glare, and all that. So I haven't been able to tell much of a difference between the two because I used to do an actual specialty clinic that used to do my glasses until they were like, oh, well, we can't get you in for a month. And my glasses were literally smashed. And I was like, you guys don't understand. I have no glasses. They were destroyed. Well, best we can do is a month. And I was like, no, forget you. And then I just went to Shopko Optical. And actually, I thought Shopko's was actually a little bit better as far as clarity on their lenses and stuff because they went through a totally different company. So, yeah, it might be the lens company. It might be the coating that they use, but I haven't had a big swing as far as being able to look at a red dot. And most of mine are rifle ones. I don't run any micro red dots or anything like that. But, the star bursting has always stayed the same on red dots and everything with my eyes. I got to run it fairly low. So that way that star bursting goes away. But not a huge swing. I'll put it that way.
All right, is that better? Sorry, I had the wrong mic selected.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's better.
I I was late. Sorry, folks. I was late and I screwed everything up and didn't go in and change my mic settings and all that stuff. So my apologies.
Alan, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, I did. I do have astigmatism, and I've known that for years. According to the optometrist, it hasn't gotten any worse. But I did put a green dot on my Shadow 2 compact, and it's a little bit better. But I noticed a difference between these new glasses and the glasses that I was wearing, which my prescription didn't change hardly at all. Just very, very, very minutely. And so but the one thing that I did do with these glasses that I haven't done with others is I got the anti-scratch, I got the anti-glare coatings, I got the extra stuff that I didn't have on my other glasses, and it literally just seems a little worse. I don't know if it's these particular lenses or what. I got them from the same company. And these ones are just a little bit smaller on my face, and so I'm I'm adjusting to them. I just picked them up like 3 days ago, but I noticed it today, or I noticed it yesterday, when I went out to put some rounds through the Shadow 2 compact, and I'm like, that doesn't look quite as clear as it did before. And then I pulled out my Sig X10 that's got a red on it, and I'm like, wow, this is different. So I was just kind of wondering if the coatings really even play a game in it.
So the coatings on lenses will make a big difference. It's kind of like with rifle scopes. Look at it that way as well. Different coatings will make it clearer or not as clear. It'll help draw more light or less light. So there's a good possibility that the coatings on the lenses are different, and that's causing the issue.
Good point. Because there's a lot of different coatings on different rifle scopes from different companies that could make a difference. I mean, just depends on the company, I guess, just like anything else.
Yeah, Bama Dad out there with the gold dot. That's actually gonna probably be one of the next optics that I buy. And again, it's probably gonna end up on a pistol. But yeah, I'm playing around a bit with the green dots, and now it's like, okay, do I go to a blue dot or a gold dot? And I think I'm leaning more towards a gold dot. Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yep. Yeah, those coatings can make a huge difference, man. It doesn't take much either. It could just be one different coating they have on there versus the ones you had before, and it'll be enough to throw everything off.
Good news is all you got to do is sand down your new glasses with a little bit of sandpaper, and then it'll all be better.
Take that coating right off.
I should probably pull out the DA for that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't want to do it by hand. You want to make sure it's nice and flat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at least do it with 80 grit.
I was going to say 80 would be faster.
So Abigail's asking about blue dots. I have seen one or two, but usually they're never in stock. That's always been the issue when I've seen those. They've never been in stock. that one company that Chris works with, and he's out in the side chat. He'll probably want to answer that question. I know they have a blue dot. I don't know if it's available or not, but
yeah, the CB mentioned, iron sights. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just and for some oddball reason nowadays, I'm putting dots and I'm putting optics and sight or optics and lights on all the pistols I carry. I'm just putting a dot and a dot and a light on everything that I carry. So it's a thing, I guess.
yeah. I mean, I've seen you shoot, man. You can shoot just fine with iron sights. Everything that you've put in your hand, you've been able to shoot pretty damn well. So I don't know. Maybe you're just in that faddish phase of dots and lights and black camo. Yeah, I still have. So most of you folks know I got my eyes laser surgery 4 years ago, somewhere around there. And the only thing that they're not able to fix is astigmatism. So I still have astigmatism.
I was just about to say I don't think anything's going to help if you've got astigmatism. As far as I've found myself having to back off of a rifle scope because the crosshairs are just doing this, and I know that's what it is. And it seems like the longer and more concentrated you are during your shooting, it's like the worse it gets. I think there's a thing. I think eye fatigue is a thing when we shoot.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things I've noticed, even looking through a good scope, that picks up a lot of light and everything, man, it just seems like my right eye gets, the older I've got, the quicker my right eye fails as far as looking through the scope and everything. And it won't do it. I can't just sit there and look through a scope at a deer. I've almost got to kind of look away, kind of let everything readjust a little bit, rub the eye, get back on it. It's, eye fatigue is definitely a thing for sure, Jay. I just can't hold up on a scope like as long as I used to.
My issue usually with shooting rifle scopes or shooting rifles is, especially on a bench, is they're way too damn low for me. And so it's always awkward for me sitting down like that. I like stuff to be up higher, so I'm not having to lean over.
You just need a better shooting stand, a better rest, or maybe you should try bipods with the longer legs. I've seen guys shoot bipods pretty dang good.
Yeah. Yeah, I could try that.
Always just go prone.
Well, it depends on the range you're on too. So some ranges don't allow it, and some there's specific areas for it.
Yeah, I've got a state range by me that I use because it's a measured 100, and if I'm going to zero something in, I go there. It's the way the benches are set. You have to shoot from a bench, and I know what you're talking about, Scotsman. It's the same kind of deal. It's like everything is just a little too low. I can't get everything high enough up. I end up having to like sandbag the snot out of it in order to get it up high enough to where I'm actually half comfortable. But even at that, I'm not like able to be like half at rest behind the gun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and the problem is and I know why they do it. They do it. Most ranges do it because they're trying to accommodate for everybody. But like Daniel says, I got to hunch you over, and it's uncomfortable, and yeah, it's
Yeah, and I'm the same way. They've got these nice concrete benches and stuff where I'm at, and you can lay your mats and stuff and everything down. When I actually do go to the range nearby me, and they've got the metal folding chairs and stuff that they let you use and everything. But I wind up having to go and Kyle put a good comment out there. Shorter stool. I mean, I just had to plumb go to a shorter chair so that way I could get further down in behind the rifle, and I wasn't scrunched up over it like this, and it just felt like I was clear out of sorts. And I'm shooting. That's when I had a full bench rest sitting on, and it's just like, because I'm 6'1", and it just feels like I've got to hunker down over there if it's too short. So yeah,
yeah.
I have to bring my own stool.
This guy right down here, he's part of the problem.
Yeah, I'm a Scotsman. They should make them man size, and anybody that's vertically challenged can bring a booster seat.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's like everything at work is designed for left-handed short people. It drives me freaking nuts, dude.
And now we're getting into the lefties now, eh? Oh, that's hilarious. Left-handed midgets. Nice.
Actually, I had a guy ask me to grab him something off the top shelf at the grocery store the other day. I just thought that was funny. It's I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't make a joke out of it or something, but it was kind of an awkward moment.
I don't mind if she's hot and she asks me to take something off the top shelf for her, but otherwise it's kind of annoying.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, that one gets old quick. That's why I usually, if I go shopping, I go shopping first thing in the morning, nice and early. No one's there.
Well, it could be worse. I mean, I just had a facility-wide inventory of my work facility, and I was teaming people together to do counting, and I picked a guy that is like 7'2" and put him with a guy that's a dwarf. I was like, okay, you can count the lower racks and you can count the higher racks.
So one of the guys I used to work with in Georgia, he legally has to have a booster seat. He's that short. He's a short little Filipino dude, badass little dude, but yeah, he legally has to have a booster seat.
Yeah, they had the law here. I can't remember what the height limit was, but they also had a weight limit. So there is drivers that are legally required to have a booster seat, at least in my state. So you don't see it all the time, but it is a thing.
Yeah, I forget how short he is, but he's pretty dang short.
There's a comment, and I don't want to be no certain way to no certain individual or anything like that. Beard CB put maybe get some higher scope risers. To me, that's a no, man. I want my scope as close to bore axis as possible. I feel like it's more accurate at more different ranges. Uh, when you get too high up, you're going to be your zero is going to be two places, and more than likely, it's going to be 50 and like 250 or 225 or something like that, depending on what cartridge it is. But I feel like the more the closer I can get the scope to the bore axis, the more accurate the scope is going. The more accurate the zero will be. Does that make sense? Did I say that right?
Yes,
I get what you're
absolutely.
saying.
Oh, sorry, New York. I didn't mean to trip on you. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying, I get what he's saying.
Yeah, the closer you can have that scope to the bore axis on there, with bullet drop and just combining all those things in there, that because I had that Savage Model 715T AR looking thing, and it had the carry handle on top of it, and they made the mount to drop right on top of that thing, put a scope on top of it. And by that time, it's so jacked up in the air, just kind of like those old M16s with the ACOGs and stuff on. It's just like, man, I never could keep everything right, between yardages because the height over bore on that thing was so out of whack on it that it just, I didn't like it. I want that scope as low on that damn thing as I can get it. It just takes some of the guesswork out of it for me anyway.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of more of an aesthetics thing. I get the whole closer to the board and stuff. Trust me, I get that. But for me, it's kind of more of an aesthetics thing. I hate having them so high; it just looks gawky and freaking horrible to me. I'm not a big fan of when they're super high like that. It just looks really weird.
Yeah.
But I have like the shooting stick, the shooting tripod. I have that, where you can stand up and shoot with it, and it works okay. It's just harder to get a good and steady on the rear end of it.
Yeah, I always found it interesting when guys are like stacking mounts on top of mounts, and it's this high above the above the rail, and then they've got their optic mounted on there. Like, why? So that you can shoot it from the hip and still look through the optic? What's the point in that? I've never quite understood it myself. I've never attempted it. Because yeah, for me to get a decent cheek weld, especially on an AR, I kind of don't.
And what I'm talking about is for deer hunting. I know, you guys that are doing tactical stuff, y'all like Razor JB's talking about applied ballistics and all that stuff. It's whatever you're doing, it's got to be automatic and it's got to be relatively quick, particularly in the deer woods. And that's one of the reasons I like my stuff slammed as low as I can go. And CB's talking about he's got high cheekbones and trying to find the right scope stock setup without spending a lot of money. Yeah, you're right, brother. It's hard to just go buy stuff because you think it might work. I get that. That's why us friends need to help our brothers out. That like, here, try this one and see how you like this scope with this stock set and all this kind of stuff. We need to be out there helping each other, and when we're so far apart, I know that's hard, but yeah,
Well,
it's
one thing to note on that comment is there's a lot more companies making scope rings, and there's a lot more higher rings and stuff coming out. And some of them are decent, look pretty dang decent. So there's a lot more out there, and they're pretty affordable. So there's plenty of options out there.
yeah, and I feel like this too. And I think this is what we're talking about here. I think when you're like, say, we're shooting long distance precision or whatever, I think when you get behind that scope, when you get on your rifle, everything just needs to fall right there in line. Everything needs to fit. Everything needs to be comfortable. You need to be thinking about putting the crosshairs on the target and squeezing the trigger. You don't need to be thinking about, well, that's not doing right. That don't feel right. I need to move this way or that way or what. That's got to be gone. And the only way to do that is spending time behind your rifle, and that can be expensive too. But everything's just got to fall in line. And for me, getting my scope as low as it can go is how that fits for me.
Well, and one of the big things there is take the time during your setup. You know, I can mount scopes pretty quick, but I know where I want them. I know how I got a certain process of how I mount scopes because, I've been doing it for God, I don't know how many years now. So I got a certain way of doing it, but I can do it pretty fast to where I know exactly where I want it for me. But take the time on your setup and make sure when that gun comes up, it's right there for you. If it's not, then it's not going to work. Just like Jamie was saying, you gotta have it just right for you. So take your time in the setup process.
If something don't feel right initially, you're buying something and then trying to adjust your body to fit it. That's going about it backwards. You need to, like, if you're setting up your rifle for deer hunting or long distance precision, whatever it is you're doing, if something don't feel right initially, think about it and think about what you need to make it more comfortable and make you more confident, so that you're not thinking about anything else but that trigger pull and that sight alignment.
Yeah, I've got absolutely no problem putting something on a rifle that looks dorky as shit if it's got like this natural feel when I pull it up. If it's got that just complete, it like naturally comes up right where I want it when I want it, and it just feels 100% natural. I don't care if it looks dorky as hell. I'll put it on my rifle 3 times a day. No problem. A lot of the, when tactical started coming around, people just started literally, like Razor was talking about, just piling crap on their guns because it was just cool to have. And no. And I mean, I'm not a hunter, but I can understand that's the same exact thing. You're just sitting in a tree stand for hours and hours and hours. You want to be able to go up, there it is, and be able to pull up and be more worried about placing that shot properly and what is around the shot, everything else, minding everything that's happening, rather than I have to adjust my shoulder to get it to go like this and then pull it up into my cheek weld. And no, it's got to be a natural feel when you can come up on it.
Yeah, totally agree, Alan, because the one thing that has always bothered me when I've bought scope rings or a new scope or something, throw it down on whatever you're shooting with, AR, hunting rifle, it doesn't matter. The one thing that really bugs me is either having to cant your head so far down that your eyeball isn't straight out of your head and having to can it up like that, trying to bury your cheek into it, or trying to float and go up to like your chin or something like your jawbone. And it's just for me anyway. A lot of different people, a lot of different ways. I ain't saying one way or the other, but man, it's got to be right underneath that cheekbone, and it's got to be sat right there. Just boom, eye level, no strain on it. Eyeball is straight ahead in my head, not having to cock it up or down, trying to look through that thing. It's just got to go wham right up against that cheekbone, and it's got to go, or else that really eye fatigues me, like really, really bad. I tried hunting like that once when I first put that Mosin together, and the scope rings on it were too high, and I was like looking over like I'm trying to look over the top of something, and I was like, no, that don't work. So.
Well, that lean that you're talking about, I used to see people all the time, man, and I was trying to get them to understand that the scope's straight, and they're like, no, it's candid. Can you put it this way? And you're giving them a candid scope because that's what they want. We used to call that the redneck lean. But it's a horrible thing, and I can't shoot like that, dude. That's horrible.
Yeah, perfect. That's the best way to put it right there. The redneck lean. I love it.
Yeah, I used to hurt trying to freaking set them up just like that for folks. That's what they wanted, though. Like, okay. I don't get it, but whatever. Have fun.
Well, and I wish I could pull this one off the shelf, but I had a AR set up for the wife, and I got it sighted in, and with no cheek riser or anything mounted to it, just plain Jane, as low as I could get it to the bore axis on there with a little 3-power on, with a illuminated reticle in the center of it. And it worked great for me. But with her, it needed to have a cheek riser on. So that way her eye and everything was lined up with perfect and everything. And I put it on there, got it set, had 3 different positions. She grabbed it up, loved it. I tried to go to it with that very same cheek riser on there, and my head's buried down like this, and my eyeballs about, and trying to look out through my eyelid and everything. It's just, man, it's just big comfort. Just being able to put your head, just like everybody else has said, just slap your head right up against that thing, crosshairs is there, and bang.
Right. It's just like, when we go to the range with our folks, like like our brothers here, when we go to the range and we're shooting their rifles and stuff, they don't always fit us the same way it fits them. It's all different. It's all to you. So.
And that's how it needs to be set up for you.
Yeah, and actually, even on iron sights, I used to date a gal a long time ago. She was the national shotgun champion here in Nebraska, all the way through high school and college. And she had a longer neck. So she had to have this extended butt pad on her shotgun because every time she'd go down to rest, she was too far forward on the gun, and she was actually kind of in the dip of her shotgun, right where you grab on with your hand and everything, and she was up against that, couldn't get a clear sight picture. Had to have an extended butt pad put on it. What was it, like inch and a half, if I remember right? Once she did that, perfect. And she could blow everything away and nuke everybody. So
yeah, it's
just getting the setup.
Standard ARs for me are hard to shoot because they're way too short. So I all the ARs that I put together and stuff, I have pretty long length of pull on there. So there's, it's set up that way, and it doesn't work for everybody. But
Yeah, you've probably got a pretty good wingspan on you, though,
I do.
Osman,
I
don't
do.
you? Yeah, just like me. Pretty long reach and everything. So since we're on that subject, well, on ARs with that, what do you have to do with a longer wingspan to get that set right? Do you have to go? Well, what kind of setup do you have to go with?
So most of the ones that I have set up are set up with a fixed stock that has an extended butt plate on it as well. And it's adjustable to a certain degree because you can decide how many pieces you want to put on there. I have them all on there, but you can slide it all the way out, and then you can get the extended butt pad for it, which I always do. It makes it a good length, not for short people at all. But it works well for me, and that's all that matters. It's I have other setups, but they're set up a specific way, and it may not be 100% comfortable for me, but a rifle has a purpose. So it's a purpose-built rifle. So for what it was going to be intended for, I'm okay with it. It's not
Right
one
on.
that I'm really sitting at the range all day long shooting away with it. It's got an intended purpose.
Gotcha. I was just curious, just see what you had to do over stock, just to get comfortable with something.
Yep.
Hey, maybe that's a good one. What do you have to do to your gun to get it over stock, just to be comfortable with it? What's the little things you got to do?
I
So,
can tell
but
you
yeah, that's
I can tell you exactly what the stock is. I just got to look it up. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
I have a
anyhow.
Magpul hunter stock, American hunter stock for my Ruger American Predator, and it has an adjustable length of pull, and you can get different size cheek risers to go on there as well. And of course, it's about $300 now. I got it when it was cheaper, but Boyd's at one. I think those are adjustable. You can get.
Yeah, they got the adjustable cheek riser. The one I use for the AR is the Strike Industries MFS. So it's a modular fixed stock. That's the one I use, and then I get the extended butt plate. Like I said, it's decent size. Oh, there's a good question. There's no real good answer to that one. on an AR stock, it always ends up getting caught somewhere at some point.
Well, when I shoot that stock, I was just telling y'all about the Ruger American, the Magpul American Hunter stock. It's Magpul, so it's over molded rubber, and it has a very tacky. What's the word? Purchase. Very sticky feel to it, and I'm forever getting. It's pulling the hair out of my face every time I move like this or that or the other, and that's uncomfortable, man.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, if you're like me and Alan, you don't have to worry about it too much because it's not too long. Or Outcast.
Alan knows the struggle. He used to have one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
It used to be a bad struggle, and Yeah, that's one thing that I don't, that's like one of the only things I don't miss about having a beard.
Yep. But uh, I'll ask New York a question here real quick. Sorry, I'm not trying to take over the channel or anything. I just thought this was a really good question. New York, so do you have to do anything overstock on ARs or guns, like extended? You know, what do you have to do anything overstock on a gun?
You're asking me?
Yeah, just do you have to do anything overstock, like on an AR, like length of pull or height adjustment on your rings and stuff like that?
No, not really. I'm, I was thinking earlier, you guys sound picky. I'm not too picky as long as things are functional and reasonable. So, I mean, in the past, I've just been issued something and it's here you go, make it work. So, don't always, I don't know. You don't always get your what you want, I guess. I don't know. So I don't know. To me, I'm happy with an A2 grip. Other people hate it, but if you're just standing at the low ready for long periods, that little nub helps. I don't know. It's just me. And standard stock's fine. I don't mind. Like Scotsman was saying, the solid rear stock, I'm fine with that. With the little pocket in there, I used to stuff M&Ms and shit in there. Or the adjustable. I can work with either, basically. So some with body armor, being able to bring it in sometimes is nicer, or getting in and out of a vehicle. So adjustable is nice in that sense, but New York State's against adjustable stock. So but basically, no, I'm not too fussy when it comes to, I guess, I don't know, being proficient, I guess. Uh, so I don't know. I don't really. I can basically take one off the shelf and go with that, if need be. So obviously, we all have preferences on sights, whatnot, but iron sights is, there's nothing wrong with iron sights. So I do have a red dot on my rifle. Sorry, excuse me. I was eating a bunch of popcorn and now it's not going down right. Bear with me, but basically, so we all have preferences and stuff, but basically, I don't really have to modify length of pull or anything like that. I have shortened it, like on my shotgun, but I have a reason for that. So I guess certain things with certain purposes, I've made modifications, but uh, other than that, I'm basically fine with stock.
Yeah. Well, what you call picky, it's just we have that benefit today that we can do that, that we can change it and make it what we want to make it. So I don't really look at it as picky.
Yeah, maybe that's a bad word for it. I don't know. But I can relate that to the drawer full of holsters that all gun owners have. Like, I don't really have that drawer. I got a few holsters for different purposes and a holster for different guns, but I don't have a bunch that I didn't end up liking or don't use. Uh,
Yeah.
that's just me. I know I'm the outcast. I'm weird. So I just make shit work or adapt to it, whatever. Do a little
Yeah.
thought before I buy stuff. I don't just buy it because it's cool. You know what I mean? So
I've only had a couple holsters that really didn't work out that well.
Yeah, when it comes to a rifle that I'm going to be spending a lot of time with and like shooting long range and stuff like that, yeah, I'm going to be picky on that. The rifle that I'm going to use mostly for most of the time when I'm deer hunting, I'm probably going to be picky with that but everything else, like I got mill serps, I've got, plenty of different stuff in stock is pretty much it for me. So, I mean, um, I really don't know how else to say that. There's only a couple of rifles that I have went went that extra distance to make fit and fit properly. And
Well, Daniel said it out there that Rob's just jealous. Well, it's a good possibility. I mean, he doesn't really live in America, so there's a good possibility.
Little jab right there with a half blunt stick or a sharpened stick.
I know, Fuzz. That's kind of me, man. Most firearms just, I guess I'm a little bit shorter, probably a little bit heavier than. I think I'm at the short end of normal. Okay.
Not everyone has monkey arms like me and Pat and some other folks out there. That's the best way I can say it. The monkey arms, because they're just long.
Yeah.
Long arms.
Yeah, and now actually you brought that up. One of the things that I've do if I was going to stay with a stock length mag pull setup or anything like on an AR or anything like that, one of the things that I found that helps me with scope, getting it further out there so I can get the right eye relief and everything on it, is a cantilever scope mount on there. So that way I don't have to mess so much with the back end of the gun, just because, length of my neck, arms and everything, getting that sight picture and everything, because I'm usually right on the very front of the stock, on the AR. It's just like a bone stock Magpul stock on there, and having that cantilever scope mount, especially on a bigger scope, going like with a 3x9, because I hunt with 77 grain boat tail hollow point rounds for coyotes, and going anywhere from 2 to, let's say, maximum 500 yards that's the farthest I'm going to stretch that, as long as there's not a whole bunch of wind on it, and having that big scope on there extended out, got the eye relief right. So that helps me out a lot too on those, instead of just having regular scope rings and having it set too far back, because there's only so much you can do with regular scope rings on an AR, especially on certain setups.
Yep, absolutely. Let me answer this question real quick, and then I'll have Alan go through the room since we're just over halfway through. Fudd, no, I haven't tried one of the cross draw holsters. But the only bad holster I've ever got from them was that the molded holster, not the leather. All their leather holsters have been top notch. So if you're looking at a leather one, you're good to go, man. I wouldn't hesitate to try it. I think you'll be all right. All right, Alan, you want to go through the room, man? We got lots of good people out there.
Absolutely. The bearded CB out there, Bobby Barlow, Fuzz Fork 8, like you can't miss him. Andy 79Z28, Hobbies Hobo, Honey Creek Road out there, the Ozzy Osbourne, Tactical Fudd. Excuse me, Timothy is out there. And it's choking me up because I just noticed the YouTube auditor out there. So eat a bowl of dicks.
Nice. There's SKS Hugo. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you go out there. Man, it's just been hopping. And the Thorzax comes into the room strictly to counter anything that I say. So I appreciate it. It's all right. I accept it.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
What Jordan holsters? What?
Steel backing. Yeah. So they were with the steel backing, they're a little stiffer.
I can honestly say that's the first time I've ever heard of Jordan holsters.
Do they have like a little bubble where you can pump up the tension on the grip? You know, so or the retention.
I think you're thinking of a different pump.
About made me choke on the vape.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. It was out there. I had to snipe it.
Yeah, Abigail throwing works
Thank you,
holsters out there. I do like me a works holster. Matter of fact, I think I still carry. Yeah, I carry my 365 XL in a works still because I just didn't find anything that suited it any better and works exactly the way I want it to work.
But Fuzz, Bill Jordan was so much more than a next border patrol.
Somebody be so kind to educate me on Bill Jordan on that, because I know nothing of his holsters or nothing. Has anybody got any background on him?
He was a badass and a pistol fighter. I can't talk and type at the same time.
Well, at least you get a stern talking to.
Yeah. You get on the phone with Thorzax, you're on the phone for a minute, and I got to yell at him, you know.
I think he was a outdoor rider as well.
Yeah, he was. He was in a bunch of different magazines back in the day.
You know, I was just curious. So
Yeah, and Fuzzred out there, he's got a book too, so you can always look up the book and see.
Gunfighter legend.
Man, this is a guy had many hats. Apparently, he did all kinds of stuff. I mean, just because you write a book doesn't mean that you're anything special. I'm just saying. Just because you write a book doesn't mean you're anything special. I'm just saying.
okay.
He was a Marine during World War II and Korea in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, he was the definition of badass.
Yeah.
I was going to say that probably already automatically puts him in that bracket, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did a
no
lot.
such thing as
He did a lot.
ex-Marine.
He did a lot for the shooting community. That's for sure.
All right, well, I'll definitely have to look into that. Sounds like an interesting character for sure. And I use character in a high regard, not just a character.
Yes. So he's right up there with Skeeter Skelton, Elmer Keith, and those guys to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say Elmer Keith.
Oh, nice. I know those. I've read a bunch on those guys. So yeah, he's in good company then.
Or they are.
Yeah, vice versa.
Can you imagine actually surviving gunfights and you're not born until 1911? I mean, this dude's having old west style gunfights with pistol revolvers, police revolvers down on the border with Mexico. And this dude didn't pass away until 97. I mean, he was 86 years old when he died.
Yeah, if I remember right, he was still writing for quite a while.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yep, I'll definitely have to do a deep dive.
Definitely sounds like he had enough to write about.
Well, I would think after being through the First World War and Korea, that's at least 2 lifetimes, I would imagine.
The Second World War.
Yeah, I said, oh, sorry, World War II and Korea.
Yeah, you can only imagine the stories.
Well, he's got books. You don't have to imagine them. You can buy his books and read them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my oldest boy.
Yeah, and he sneaks in behind Dad's back and waves. And then when you wave back, he turns around and runs away.
Yeah, he's a sniper like that. He's a lot like that with a gun. He'll sneak in and shoot, and then he disappears. You he heard me talking about him. He was like, "Who are you talking about?" I'm talking about you.
What's your name, little boy?
William, hey,
You're on the big screen.
you're on the big screen. Say your name. Clear. Clearly.
Yeah. William.
William, don't call me Bill Jordan. Can we call you Bill? Can we call you Will?
Yes, Will for sure. Bill, you might have to fight Mama over that one. Just saying.
Yeah, Hobbies Hobo, you're on the money there, man. He gets a lot of flack too because he's a little bit on the controversial side a lot of times. People always misconstrue what he's trying to say.
Well, if you look at those Bill Jordan, you look up Bill Jordan on Google, you'll see him with Colt single action armies and Smith and Wesson double actions, and probably some Colt pre Pythons. You know, the pre Snake Colt revolvers.
Yeah, once I get done here, I have a feeling I'll probably be doing a deeper dive into that.
Well, while you're looking him up, look up Elmer Keith and Skeeter Skelton.
Yeah, I know some from those guys, but for some reason I'd never heard of Bill Jordan. So I don't know how. If he's in that group of guys, I don't know how I didn't hear about him. I just must be sheltered.
Well, you know, you're in a bunker, so
Yeah.
there is that.
I was waiting how long it would take.
I lead a sheltered life, but I don't live in a bunker, Pat.
Well, yeah,
That's probably a flaw on my part.
Well, I go out for work, then I come back to the bunker. At least life's less complicated in a bunker.
I don't know. I think some of the old guys would be more attuned to stick with what they know.
Yeah,
Well,
I
then-
would imagine to a certain degree. Anyway, I mean, some guys like to stick with what they know and have run for years, and some guys are like, "Oh, what's the newest next thing come along? You know, newest advancement and everything." So,
Yep.
you know, kind of half dozen one to the other.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of the older guys have advanced, you know, past the rock and sling, huh, Jamie?
Yeah,
Hey, Jamie, turn around. Let me grab that knife out your back.
I know, bro.
Please let it be a buoy. Oh, what?
Very
I
good.
couldn't help it.
Very good duffer. Not the same Bill Jordan who invented Realtree camo. Who's from Middle Georgia, by the way? That Bill Jordan
So did you get out to the range at all this week, Alan?
Do you throw Frank Hamer in there as well? And with that group? I mean, he hunted down and killed Bonnie and Clyde.
I forget. Was he a World War II vet too?
Frank Hamer?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank.
He hunted down and killed Bonnie and Clyde. But
Right.
They bushwhacked them. But
Right. Well, somebody that did the low down dirty stuff that they did. Just somebody. Yeah. I won't get into the politics of it.
Well, yeah, I ended up doing a little bit of range yesterday, and that's how I knew what the difference was with these glasses. More just going out and putting some more rounds through the Shadow 2 Compact, and having fun with the green dot. But I did bring a couple others with me, the Sig X10 and um, the Eclipse X or the Eclipse 10, mostly just for counter decoration.
Yeah, Frank Hamer was a retired Texas Ranger when he took on the job. Uh, I like to think we're not, Dave. He took on the job. Frank Hamer being a Texas Ranger and hunting down Bonnie and Clyde, I get the idea of him being a manhunter. Like here's your man, go get him. Kind of like a 20th century bounty hunter, maybe. Because that's what he did with the Texas Rangers, just hunt people down and take them to jail. And if they didn't want to go to jail, then there you go.
So, did you get any range time this week, Jamie?
Do what?
You get any range time?
Oh no, but I got to, man. My son's in town, so we'll be. Uh, we've got to get out and shoot his guns. We're at least going to hit the indoor range at some point this week. Yeah, see, back then, Duffer, one of the things that was hindering Bonnie and Clyde's capture was the fact that law enforcement couldn't cross state lines chasing a perpetrator, or insert the word you want there, but they'd have to stop at the state line, and that's one of the ways that Bonnie and Clyde got away with what they did for so long, was because they'd never go too far into a state. They were always close to the state lines and moving back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back in the day. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, hopefully it's true chessboard because they need it. Go ahead, Pat.
Oh, I was going to say that's kind of what the like the Dalton Gang and all those old Western gangs back in the day, being able to skirt around all that stuff was jurisdictions and stuff, especially down into Mexico and everything. That's how some of those guys lived as long as they did. But, most of them didn't live too terribly long unless they went clear down to Argentina. But, depending on which text, which history you read and everything. But,
Dave ain't wrong. Dave rarely is wrong.
yeah, that's. Uh-huh. Oh, Jamie's going to love this. This just flashed into my head. my dad, I don't have it yet, but he's got a Browning BAR set up in a 270.
Ooh.
And that's his baby. That's his hunting rifle. And let me tell you, I've shot many a deer with his rifle. And that is the slickest semi-auto 270 that I have ever shot. I love that gun. And I told Dad, it was about 4 or 5 years ago when he finally quit deer hunting and everything with it. I was like, I don't care about my brother right now. I said, I put dibs in on this rifle right now. But it's beautiful. It's got a bunch of engraving on it. The wood on it's absolutely beautiful, and it's one of the smoothest semi-autos that I've ever shot in 270. I absolutely love it, and it's got BAR stamped right above the trigger guard, right in front of the safety on there.
Nice.
So I'll have to put that on a after chat or something sometime. Get that out and show James, because I know he's a fan.
Well, apparently, I got an email from Georgia Baptist Disaster Relief wanting help.
Yeah, Duffer. No one was stopping in Buford.
Put the evidence in the car, Junior.
Can you do a good Buford T justice, Jamie, if you really get into it?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
You got to remember that Jackie Gleason's originally from New York, man.
Mm-hmm.
Or somewhere up there. But he
Yeah.
did pretty well. I mean, I think his accent was at least semi-authentic.
Look at that big, ugly alligator, Daddy. That reminds me, I gotta call your mama. I love Jackie Gleason. All the stuff that he did, and a hell of a pool player. Hell of a pool player.
Who was it he played in that movie? Did he play?
He played, that was, yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about, and he took him for everything that he had.
It was Willie Moscone and Minnesota Fats. Is that it?
I think you're right.
They used to be on the Wide World of Sports on Saturday, but then again, so was Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and George Foreman. Those were the days, guys. Those big time heavyweight fights. Here's one from the past. See if y'all remember. This is Mel Allen with This Week in Baseball. How many remember that show?
Probably before my time, but I remember you, as soon as you said it, I've heard clips of it.
Yeah, Thorax, I haven't shot a BAR yet. I would love to, but I haven't shot one yet.
Yeah, I don't think that the war issued BARs are the same as what Pat's talking about. I think they're different.
No, it's the same mechanisms and everything on as far as design, internals and everything, but it's definitely lighter. It's you don't have that big foregrip and everything. Everything's been streamlined. The barrel is slimmed down and everything, but as far as the internals and everything like that, it's the exact same design. So no, it's not a Browning BAR with a scope on top of it to go. No, but it's that patent, it's that design, it's everything, and it has BAR stamped straight into it.
Well, the concept for the BAR in World War One was light machine gun to be shot from the hip when advancing on
On a trench or enemy emplacement or
fortifications.
I guess what was those belts that they had with the cup on the right side where you stuck that butt right into and just marched forward and just
throwing out 30-06.
Right? Just slinging down some serious hate with that on full auto.
Yeah, Fuzz, Fats Domino was a rock singer from the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
My dad said it was Minnesota Fats. I remember the wide, wide world of sports.
Yes. Color of money. There you go.
Drinking anything good tonight, Alan?
No, just H2O.
Yeah, Dave, it was a chop, wasn't it, man? Talking about slow cycle rate.
Black camo.
Black camo.
Oh, do you have one of those Iron Infidels too?
Yeah, it is the Iron Infidel in the black camo because, well, I've got a fetish.
Okay. All right, perfect. Yeah, I have two, and one's in the woodland, and the other one's just plain olive drab, and best water best water jug I've ever had as far as keeping it cold.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely phenomenal. I can fill that thing up when I get home from work, and I'm lucky if there's anything left by the time I go to bed. But I mean, if I was to leave it, it's just as cold as I filled it up the night before when I come back from work the next day. They're good. They're good. They're definitely good bottles. Don't fit in a cup holder all that well, but that's all right.
No, but they were made to hold a lot, so I give it a pass.
So have you bought anything more recently in the black camo?
He got a kill.
I do. I do have a black camo kilt. Yes. Yes. And that particular kilt was made as a joke by 511, but in all actuality, it's not a bad kilt. It's a little longer than most, but it's not a bad kilt. It's pretty durable. No, nothing that I've thought about divulging on the YouTubes. Because you end up being called numerous different names if you divulge some of the things that you purchase, and people are like, why the fuck would you need a 3A ballistic helmet with a black camo sock on it? Uh, well, it is what it is. It's easier to hold the ear pro and the night vision that way. So yeah, there's that. And I've been leaning off of buying gear for a minute. Just a little bit of tightness, syncing up the belt a little bit.
I got you.
Yeah, when you tell people that, yeah, you picked up a helmet with the provisions for ear protection and night vision and everything else, they're like, why the hell would you ever use that? Okay, well, hopefully I don't have to use it under its intended purpose and can just use it for my training and entertainment purposes.
Yep. And that's the thing of it too. It's everyone always thinks it's because of what's potentially going to happen, and it is to a certain degree. But there's nothing wrong with training with it and having it.
No. I would absolutely love to have an MRAP parked out in the parking lot out here. I don't see why not. I think every man should probably that knows how to drive, at least, own an MRAP. Yep.
Well, I'm kind of leaning more towards the old school. I would love to have a Sherman Super 88 sitting out front with the bigger boost on it and the higher compression heads on it would be fantastic. But that's just me. That's the mechanical nerd working inside of my brain.
And the land that is now Lake Lanier before Lake Lanier was finished. I think that was the premise of the movie or the backdrop of it.
Yeah, Bama Dad. That's exactly what I buy.
Old days, man. It didn't matter if you were a horse thief or a cattle rustler. You got caught, you got hung.
I'd still love to be able to do that. Oh, I'm sorry, did that fly out of my mouth? I'm a cattle rancher. Because I've had cattle rustled from me. I'm not.
Well, chessboard, that might happen sooner than you think. I mean, they are replacing the old birds with the new ones, so sooner or later they're going to have to do something with the old ones. And I don't think they're just going to crush them or anything. It'd be really hard to crush one of those, by the way.
Right, especially right there in the center where that great big tub lays. And it is a tub. Yeah, hopefully they don't go the way of the dodo bird like some of those B-17s and the B-29s where they haul them off to the corners of the bombing ranges and stuff where they can kind of keep some smuggled away for prevalence later on down the road, I hope. Sorry, Jamie, I didn't mean to cut you off.
We can't hear you, Pat.
There's nothing coming out.
Well, I can hear him just fine.
Shame on you, Jamie. Seriously, nobody can hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
Far out, man.
Somebody say
Yeah.
something.
If I could have one vehicle that
Thanks, New York.
if money was not an issue and I could have one vehicle, I'd love to have a nice freaking tank outside.
Oh, I was going to say Toyota Tacoma, but that's probably too early.
Oh, don't worry, there'll be another one. It's coming. It's coming. I have a plan to get rid of this POS, and I got another one coming.
The original Taco or the second, third gen? Which one are we talking about?
So I've had a couple of them, and then unfortunately I got in a wreck. The guy took it out completely. He was speeding and totally destroyed my front end. So that was a sad day, but we'll get another one. Got my eyes on one right now, so we'll see. I got a plan. I just gotta get it in action to try and get that figured out.
With all your raking in on that website, I kind of figure that might be
Apparently, I need to start one.
yeah, that OnlyFans it'll be in no time at all.
I'll have
Or
to
you
do,
could just or you could just go to a Diddy party and he'll give you a taco.
I tell you what, there you go. See, there's an idea, Bama.
I'm sure.
You wanna see the kilt? We'll throw it up on the website.
Oh boy.
We'll see how many people out there have kilt fetishes.
Well, there's a fetish for everything.
No,
Oh, there is.
And probably more than you think.
Absolutely is. We'll start going through the room. Pat, what you got, brother?
Well, hopefully I can, just depending on how the rest of the week goes, I want to finish up the red dot video that I came up with on the unboxing for the AR-15 on my Smith & Wesson. I really need to get that one done. I did a quick take on it, and then I got rained out, and that was, of course, a couple weeks ago. But other than that, man, I'm just trying to get through the weeks, trying to get a bunch of stuff done. A really busy time of year for me, getting the cattle in, getting the crops out. So, but other than that, man, I just trying to hang out with everybody when I can, how I can. So, anyway, thanks for having me on tonight. I know it's been a hot minute since I've been on, but yeah, love hanging out with you guys. So, thanks for having me on.
Always appreciate you, man. You're always welcome. You know that. Rob, what you got, man?
No. So besides, eat a salad, stay cool, and catch you next time. I apologize. I've been tired, so didn't jump in a whole lot tonight. So sorry about that. But other than that, like I said, that's all I got.
No, you're always appreciated, man. Thank you. Jamie, what you got, brother?
I'm not much, man. I got a couple of 3 videos I need to make this week. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'm going to be trying. And as always, Friday nights at 8 o'clock on Georgia Shooting Connection channel. Y'all come join us if you can. We appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys. Always fun. I hope everybody has a great week.
Always appreciate you, brother. I appreciate everyone out in the side chat. We had some good conversation going on out there, and good times. So thanks to everyone out there. Alan, take us out right, brother.
Oh man, great chat, man. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, and everybody in the side chat, man. I probably won't be putting out a video this week. I know this is heartbreaking for some of you, or two of you, but other than that, I'm trying to save money because I'm trying to buy an MRAP. So if you would like to donate to my MRAP fund, please do so. I'm more than happy to take anything anybody will give me towards that. Nevertheless, always remember to keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!